The MVPs for the MLB have been announced. In the NL, Shohei Ohtani has won his third MVP, back-to-back MVPs as well. And then what this video is about, of course, as you guys have seen in the title, Aaron Judge wins his second MVP back-to-back, now his third overall. And the discussion with this video is, did Aaron Judge really deserve the MVP over Cal Raleigh? I'm going to go into why I thought Judge did deserve the MVP. And then also just kind of give some counter arguments to Cal, because just being honest, I would have preferred either of these guys to win. I mean, it was such a good season from both of them. Again, they did different things, but I felt like they both really honestly could have won this award. And even the voters showed that it was really a pretty neck and neck race. So I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are, but I at least wanted to provide arguments for both sides and just kind of dive into this discussion, because I do really find it very interesting. And real quick, before we get into Aaron Judge and Cal Raleigh, I just want to give credit to Shohei. 3 MVPs already. This guy's the GOAT. I know I was saying this in one of my comment sections for my last baseball video where I was kind of shaky on if he is the GOAT, and someone talked me into it. No, he is the GOAT. He is the GOAT. Stand on business. He is the GOAT. I just want to give him his flowers. I mean, again, third MVP, second in a row. This guy is just phenomenal. And the rate this guy is moving at, especially with the way the Dodgers are winning championships as well, is this guy going to finish with, no pun intended, is this guy going to finish with 6 or 7 MVPs? Like, he's on that pace. He already has 3. I think he's, 29? He's 30? If he keeps this up, I just don't see how he doesn't continue to win MVPs, especially if he continues to pitch at a pretty good level. Because, again, this is stuff we've never seen in baseball. I always tell people, again, and you guys can go back to some of my videos, appreciate the moment. You're never going to see a player like this again. We had to wait almost a century from Babe Ruth to a guy like this. Appreciate the moment, but this guy's just playing at such an elite level, and I wanted to give him his flowers. Again, super excited to see how the rest of his career goes, but man, like his third MVP, 2 back-to-back, yeah, this guy's the GOAT. 2 championships, this guy is the GOAT. Now let's actually get into the video. As I said, voters made it pretty clear that it was a close run. Judge ended up winning with only 17 first-place votes to Cal Raleigh's 13, so it was closer than expected. And honestly, I thought it was going to be more in Judge's favor just because of some of the stuff I was hearing leading into the race. But to hear that it was only a 4-vote difference, it's honestly pretty shocking. I think that says a ton about really how good Cal Raleigh was this year. So first, let's look at Judge's stats and kind of just give some context for why he did end up winning this award. And these stats, I mean, they are just so good when you really, really look at them. So let's get into it now. Aaron Judge, he finished with a .331 average. He had an OPS of 1.144. He had 53 home runs, 114 RBIs. He only played 152 games because he missed an elbow injury for a little bit, so that caused him to be out for a little. He had a 10.1 WAR according to Fangraphs, which is also pretty impressive. And then this is also his third MVP. This is Aaron Judge's third MVP. You know, I think that does play a role in some of the voting here. And I would say baseball voting is really different compared to, you know, you look at the NFL, you look at the NBA specifically. I heard this argument before, so it's pretty relevant in my opinion. Baseball does not mind voter fatigue. If they see the best player has won multiple years, they don't care. They're just like, we're just going to give you the MVP again. I mean, you look at the NBA, Nikola Jokic, he could have probably had some more MVPs, but they capped him at one point and gave one to Embiid, though I still think as a Sixers fan, Embiid deserved it. You can look at LeBron James. How many MVPs could LeBron have really won? Probably a lot. How many MVPs could Tom Brady have won? I think he had 3 or 4. He probably could have had more. So I want to give credit to baseball for always rewarding guys for being the best. They don't cave to the pressures of, you know, fans and being like, oh, we want to change it up. No, it's who is the best player. You know, Shohei Ohtani in the NL. They weren't going to give it to Kyle Schwarber, and that's how they felt this year about Aaron Judge. And again, I think Judge did rightfully deserve it just because, again, how good of his numbers really were. Again, he also missed 30 games, and his average. At one point, Judge was hitting 400 in the beginning of the season. And we're going to talk about this more when we get to Cal Raleigh, because that's really where I'm going to be getting into a little bit more of the debate. But kind of setting it up is like, it seems from what voters are saying, they value hitting more than defensive metrics. And we see this because obviously, and I'll talk about it when we get to Raleigh. Raleigh is a better defensive player just based off his position. He has more on his plate. He has more to do. And it just seems that, like, based on the voting at least, they value hitting more. Judge had a better hitting season. It was clear he did. Yes, he didn't have as many home runs, but again, he missed a certain amount of games. But when you look at the average, his average is way better than Raleigh's. He had a better OPS than Raleigh. I'm pretty sure he had probably a better WAR. I can't confirm that, but I'm pretty sure he did. Judge, when you look at the metrics, it really showed. And when you take Judge off of the Yankees, where would the Yankees be? I still think the Yankees would be really good, but would they be as good with Judge as Cal Raleigh is with the Mariners if he wasn't on the team? I don't know if that made sense, but like if you took off Judge from the Yankees and you took off Cal Raleigh from the Mariners, who would have a bigger impact on their team? Like which team would suffer more? And part of me wants to go with Raleigh just because, again, the defense, the hitting. But at the same time, I feel like the Mariners have more overall as a team to provide, both when it comes to the pitching end and when it comes to the hitting end, than the Yankees. Though the Yankees did have a really good lineup, but when you don't have Judge in that lineup, I don't fear them anywhere near as much. He just does so much for that lineup and really sets up guys, in front of him and behind him as well. There's just so much that goes into it. So I am still in the camp that I think Judge did deserve it just based off of his numbers. But now let's jump into the Cal Raleigh side of things and kind of just present his argument and see maybe the voters did end up getting this one wrong. So here are some of Raleigh's stats that I thought were pretty interesting and just relevant to the discussion. Cal Raleigh, he ended up finishing with a 247 average. He ended up finishing up with 60 home runs, 125 RBIs, and a .948 OPS. Also, there's no stats here, but he was a catcher. I mean, this guy is grinding. He's either hitting, he's somewhat on the bench, or he's out there as a catcher, and he's helping out with pitchers. And I think that's the main argument that you can really go for Cal is, number one, we've never seen a catcher hit like this, specifically for the long ball. And he's doing that in a building that is not good for the long ball. The long ball is not as effective in Seattle. It is a pitcher's park, and he still ended up hitting 60 home runs. So you have to you have to keep that into account. Again, he's out there defensively. It's not like he's just hitting. Like Judge is mainly really just a hitter. Let's keep it a buck. Number three is he's helping with the pitchers, and I think you have to give credit to that, because they had such a good pitching staff this year, and some of that has to go to Raleigh. He's the guy giving, the signals and everything. He's the one telling them what to throw. So I think you have to factor that in as well. He ended up leading them to the number 1 seed, which is something that Judge can't say about the Yankees. And again, we've just never seen a season like this from a catcher. Was it enough to get him an MVP? I think you can honestly say yes. I mean, the voters even showed it was only a 4-vote difference. And it's just something that makes it so tough because, again, either one of these guys really did deserve the award. Both of them were great. But I would have taken Judge just because, again, when you look at his hitting, just when you look at the hitting, it is better. But again, this is my, kind of discussion with this whole video, and even the question I have for you guys watching is the voting, does it need to be tweaked? Do we need to prioritize his defensive ability? Do we need to prioritize that he was also helping out with pitchers? He was playing more than Judge. Like, is that something we need to prioritize more? Do we need to also kind of take into account that he is a catcher? Almost give him a little bit more points because of his position. Is that something we need to do when it comes to the voting? I don't know. These are all just questions I have. But I think in any other year, Cal Raleigh really would have won it. It's just the fact that he is going against a generational player in Aaron Judge. Same thing can be said about really anyone that's going against Shohei Ohtani, whether it was the last couple years or it's going to be the next couple years. It's going to be hard to win an MVP in the NL because Shohei Ohtani exists. He is a unicorn. And you can say the same thing about Judge. Judge is probably the best hitter I've probably seen in my entire life just from watching baseball, from pure hitting. He is just so good. He gets on base, whether it's the RBIs or he's just hitting bombs. It doesn't matter. His ability to draw walks, it's just, he's a threat. So I don't know. Very interested to see what you guys think about this, but either way, I could have seen one of these guys winning it. I'm fine with Judge winning it, but at the same time, I think Raleigh had the best catching season ever, arguably. He's great defensively as well. Both these guys showed up in the playoffs as well. Judge had that huge home run versus the Blue Jays. Obviously, Cal Raleigh had more moments, but that's also because they went deeper, so it's a little bit of that. But still, it just kind of is an interesting question. I'm just curious to see what the baseball community thinks about this, because this has been a talking point, honestly, for really the last couple of months. It was one of the main stories of the season. It's something that I'm going to remember the season for specifically. It was that really, that MVP race in the AL. It was, is Judge going to get it, or is Cal Raleigh going to keep doing this big dumper? It was the season of all seasons for him. So very, very interested in, again, do we have to maybe prioritize defensive metrics a little bit more when it comes to the MVP? So just stuff to consider, but just wanted to put this out there because, again, the baseball content has been doing really, really well recently. You guys have been eating it up. I eat it up when I get to make these, so it's a win-win for both of us. And yeah, just wanted to keep talking about this because, again, I love the sport, and I just want to know what you guys are thinking. That's all I had in this video. Just wanted to get this out there. If you like this video, feel free to give it a like. If you like my type of content, feel free to subscribe. We're going to be continuing to break down the MLB, the offseason, and other sports as well. I cover those as well. My TikTok will be in the description down below. And again, leave your thoughts if you have any. And yeah, if you made it this far into the video, I greatly, greatly appreciate you. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace, guys.